Okay, go ahead, Coach. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you too, Coach Des.
Yeah.
For all you young athletes out there, young people out there, young people, period. We're living in a time where people are stressing, stay physically fit, stay physically fit. And that's all fine and dandy. But the main purpose, in my opinion, is to stay mentally fit. Keep yourself mentally ready because change is happening.
Well, let's do, Coach. What are some ways you keep yourself mentally fit, both in general to show up at your 75 years old or what have you, and run wrestling practice 5-6 days a week, year round, or now with all this downtime? What are the things you do to keep yourself mentally sharp?
Realizing that the only change can come from me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to feel comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I've thought about a legacy, the legacy that I'd like to leave for all people when I'm gone, when I'm passed away, is stop looking for easy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone looks for easy. I put myself in uncomfortable positions and just look at them differently. That's all the time.
This would be a great thing. Imagine if some of the wrestlers or kids you work with use this time to decide for themselves what legacy they want to leave.
Yes. Or write your epitaph.
Yeah, right.
You write your epitaph now. It's what do you want people to say about you
Mm-hmm.
in your last words?
Yeah.
Because you have the right to do it.
It's funny. I think one thing that maybe a lot of times people have trouble with is asking themselves those hard questions. And kind of like you said, looking at yourself in the mirror and having those conversations with yourself.
Yeah, well, we have to slow down. We're always moving and going nowhere. And I just like to slow down. And that mirror is a great thing because it will not lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just accept who you are. And then you've got to look deeper into the mirror to look into your soul to say, is that really me? Am I really doing that? You know what you're doing. And that's what I do. I just slow down. Every time you run into a roadblock or a window is closed, if you stop and look around, something else is open. But you have to look for it. And we don't want to look for it, so we tear something down or break something down or say, I can't do it. And I don't say negative things about myself. I never say what I can't do. Maybe I haven't done it yet.
Well, and that's kind of, we were talking a little earlier about just that instant gratification idea.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it seems like you're saying, learning how to slow down. But if you expect instant gratification, I guess maybe sometimes you'll give up right before the finish line, maybe.
Of course you will. Well, it's like the word impossible. Mm-hmm. People look at it, when they hear impossible, they stop, they give up. What I do is I break it down. I break it down to I am possible.
There you go. Huh?
I'm possible. It's possible.
All right. So I'm possible.
So all you got to do is just look at things differently. That's all. Deprogram yourself from all that negative stuff that you have been programmed to see. There will be no one else like you in this world, ever. You are unique. You're special.
Yeah, it might be kind of a fun time, a potential benefit for a lot of kids and adults at this time like this is you don't have a lot of peer pressure as much around affecting everything you're doing, right? Because you're home. So this can be a time to figure out who is that person that I look at.
I would say start a journal. Mm-hmm. Learn how to write. Mm-hmm. And write about anything. Write about yourself. And then maybe 5 years from now, look at it and read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I keep one, and what I do now lately, just probably the past year, then at the end of every month, I go do like a review and summary page, so I can
Well, these
see what I
journals,
learned and changed.
they take you back. They
Right.
can take you back to a good time or take you back to a not so good time.
Mm-hmm.
I know in 1986, I think it was, I was over in Russia. And I journaled every day
Mm.
about my experience there. And it was beautiful. And every time I want to go back there, I just read it.
Right on.
Hmm. And now I love this time
Mm-hmm.
because this time will separate us all.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new normal,
Yeah.
and it will force you to use your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your creativity. It's up to you.
Well,
And
it was funny. Like I remember, like when you're a kid and your freshman year of college, and a lot of kids their first time from home and not having adults tell them what to do all day, and they go wild. A lot of kids, but
yes,
you really,
they
I
do.
guess, freedom shows you who you are, I guess, or some of those deeper drives and impulses. When you have the ability to choose, now you can find out a little more about yourself, what you
Yeah.
value.
When you go to, like I ask kids, if you were a freshman, what would you do over? What would you change? And tell me these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I make them aware of you're a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you're a freshman. So just start changing it. Usually when you start off in college, you get in that big arena and you gravitate to people that are just like you.
Right.
Whether they're shy or loud, or whatever, you gravitate to them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be your own person.
Mm-hmm.
How do you change that? Just by changing the way you look at it, changing what you do. Or do you just go along to get along?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think if I were a freshman again, I would say I would have been more proactive cultivating relationships, like you're saying, with people that are different, and really
yes.
building up a big a network as I could, because that's the network of contacts that's going to spread the rest of your adult life.
Well, a lot of us are afraid of making relationships with people that are different
Mm-hmm.
because they we see in them what we are afraid of. Not what they are, but what we're afraid of. And it's important that, when's the last time you've had a person of another race over for dinner,
Mm-hmm. Right.
or just gone to dinner with someone, or just with another race?
Well, we've talked about it. You see it a lot with kids in schools where, when the teacher and kids are from different cultures and different backgrounds, a lot of times there's some real approach avoidance or approach uncertainty. I don't know how to talk to that person, or I'm unsure what they think of me. So a lot of times a mistake as teachers will make is we don't know how to bridge that gap with kids that are different from different backgrounds, different experiences. And, over the course of a year, that really alienates a lot of kids.
Well, that's fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think back about you. What teachers do you remember in grade school? Or do you remember back that far?
Oh, I remember a couple.
A couple?
Yeah.
What were their qualities? What are the main qualities of those teachers that you remember?
Oh, yeah, they had personality. One guy, he let us make was my crepes. That was my first experience with crepes. So, um, but I think another part of it, what I always felt was great, you started doing at Peninsula, is teaching kids how to approach adults and introduce themselves and ask adults questions, and that's a way kids can learn to break down that bridge and get comfortable talking to people that are different, um, approaching people.
One of the things, and I used to do that. I used to do this for kids, and they come back to me and say the teacher wouldn't accept it.
Oh.
They always thought, well, there's an ulterior motive for you asking me, how can I help you? How are you today? Because I'm trying to change. They won't let me change. They like me the way I was when I come in and be disruptive in a class. Now I'm back to normal.
Yeah, because I will challenge teachers sometimes. I say, imagine if you take your toughest kid and if you taught him, because it's usually a him, to walk into class 5 minutes early every day and say, good morning, Coach Pittman. Is there anything I can do to help you get ready for the day?
Yes.
If that student does that every day, you know, like we said the other day, that opens doors and changes how people see them. But kind of like you're saying, maybe what I see is sometimes when teachers have their minds made up, we block out information that doesn't align with that.
See, we had one wrestler who was a pistol. Can I use his name?
We probably better just talk general.
Okay, well, he was a pistol. He went to Marshall High School, and he was a pistol, and people hated him or they didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Then his junior and senior year, he came to Peninsula, and we went about changing everything about him. And this kid was so likable by the end of the year that the vice principal and things wanted him to babysit his kids.
Wow.
Yeah. It just, will we let these kids change?
Right, yeah.
Will we just make them stay in the opinion that we have of them?
Right.
That's what gets me.
Yeah. We think we know, and like you said, people change.
Oh, well, we know everything.
Right.
we know everything.
Right.
It's amazing. And I say, let other people know something. Let other people know something. These kids know a lot than they let on to be, but they don't listen to us, so they don't tell us.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, let's wrap this up, and maybe next week we'll get Coach Oscar Hicks to join us for a day. Okay.
Well, let's talk with Hike Brown.
Okay.
You know, Hike Brown has been in the program for 40 years or so.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll try to get those guys on next week. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you very much, buddy.
All right.
Take care.